and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth hearing on our inquiry on the non-implementation of Republic Act 11235, which is the motorcycle law, as well as now it has grown to other things. This is a Blue Ribbon investigation that will go into the contracts that were executed in the past that created this brouhaha and has created so much pain and suffering for our people. Many people have lost money buying motorcycles. Many people have lost their lives with motorcycles. Many people have made tons of money in the contracts that created plate numbers for four-wheel vehicles and two-wheel drives. And I have news for you. I'm not happy about it, but yesterday, the Senate, through Senator Grace Poe, was kind enough, or rather was cruel enough, to assign the investigation of the private motor vehicle inspection system that is now a newbie, a new thing that they're going to act on. Yeah, on the surface, it looks good, but the implementation is, again, is something much to be desired, probably because they're distracted by the money that can be taken from there. I'm just assuming, I'm not accusing. So, may I ask the Director General to recognize our colleagues who are here present, please?
Mr. Senator, may I proceed? From the Department of Transportation, Assistant Secretary Mark Steven Pastor, Attorney Rainier Paul.
Excuse me, I'm asking for the senators. Are there any senators here present today?
Senator Marcos, Your Honor, indicated her presence a while ago. We will check if she is still here.
Let's proceed. We will just recognize them as they come.
Yes, Your Honor. From the DOTR, Assistant Secretary Mark Steven Pastor, Attorney Rainier Paul Riebra.
A moment, please. Can you raise your hand, please, Mark Steven Pastor? Can you take your mask off for a while? Can't see you. What is your position there? What is the position of the gentleman?
He's Assistant Secretary for Road Transport and Infrastructure.
All right, good.
He's in a black jacket, Your Honor. Attorney Rainier Paul Yebra, Undersecretary for Legal Affairs. Kindly raise your right hand as your name is called so that the Senator can see
Professor Yebra is my favorite Sambeda professor, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Attorney Andrea Nicole Rivera, Attorney for Office of the Undersecretary for Legal Affairs.
Andrea Rivera.
She's in a black blazer, Your Honor.
Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs.
Attorney for Office of the Secretary.
Yes.
From the Department of Transportation and Communication, the former officials, Undersecretary Jose Perpetuo M. Lutilla. He was formerly Undersecretary for Legal Affairs and back chairman. He is here, Your Honor.
Would you kindly raise your hand, Mr. Lutilla? I don't see him. Can you raise your hand, please, Mr. Lutilla? You're covering your face with your hand, please. Can you bring it down? Bring your hand down so I can recognize you. There was a Lutilla that was with me in the Student Council way back in 1969 in UP. Is that the same?
I
don't think he's the same. I would recognize him. Next, please.
Former Assistant Secretary Fortunato Caringal. He was former Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs of the DOTC.
All right. Are you related to General Caringal?
Yes.
The late
yes,
General Caringal? What are you, the son?
No, Your Honor. Caringal with a K po yun. C po yung Caringal.
Oh, sige. What is your position again?
I am an RTC judge in Mandaluyong, Your Honor.
He's a judge, right? He's a judge.
Oh, all right. I know you. Okay, thank you. Transportation and communication. All right.
Yes, Your Honor. From the
Go ahead.
DTI, Undersecretary Ruth Castello. She is here.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Good morning, sir.
Hello, Ms. Costello. You are Ruth.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm
Say-
Ruth Castilla, sir.
DTI is a welcome treat here. Go ahead, please.
Assistant Secretary Anne-Claire Cabochan, also from DTI.
Good morning, Senator.
I would. There you go. Can you make your, can you make your computer? You either go near the computer or the computer go near. There you go. Thank you, Annie. Annie ba? Yeah, Anne.
Yep.
Anne.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Rudy.
From the Commission on Audit, Attorney Daniel Rosaupan, Attorney 4. Attorney Melissa San Miguel Salunga, OIC Supervising Auditor, DOTR Audit Group 1. Ms. Nenita Vitalion, Audit Team Leader, Land Transportation Office. And Ms. Emily Gardose, OIC Audit Team Leader of DOT and DOTR.
Can you all please raise your right hand? I just have to ask you some questions right away. Are you all in-house auditors? You are in-house auditors or auditors assigned by the COA to stay in the department. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Can you state your name, the one who's answering? We are in very difficult situations because of this Zoom thing. The gentleman who said yes is check. From COA?
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Attorney Daniel Rosaupan from COA Legal Affairs.
Attorney
Daniel
Daniel
Rosaupan.
Rosalpan. Right, thank you. And you are with
Legal Affairs Officer.
the OTR. Don't make me guess, please. Go ahead. And then you
He's
have
from COA. Your Honor, he's from COA. He's Attorney 4 at the head office in COA.
I know, Rudy. You've known me long enough. I've asked a question already. I'm just asking who to what's his name? He is seconded to COA by COA to the OTR. All right, go ahead, please. Who's the next? From COA, can you bring it down?
Melissa San Miguel Salunga, OIC Supervising Auditor, DOTR Audit Group 1.
I'm
All right.
Melissa, sir.
Melissa, where are you? Are you the one who's smiling?
I'm the OIC Supervising Auditor of the OTR Audit Group 1.
You look very forlorn there. Can you make your computer come nearer so I can see your face? Thank you. Thank you. Nag-iisa ka lang naman dyan para makita ko yung mukha mo. Okay. Thank you. I always like to know who I'm talking with. Next, please.
Miss Nenita Talion.
Talion.
Sir, good morning, sir. I'm Ninita Vitalion, Audit Team Leader of LTO SHO.
What does SSO mean?
Sectoral Head Officer.
I thought that was the German SS.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Rudy.
Emily Gardose, OIC Audit Team Leader of DOT and DOTR.
Can you raise your hand? Saan yan? Emily Garduse? Emily, kindly raise your hand, please. Is Emily here, Garduse? You might be on mute.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Emily, are you there? Raise your hand,
Good
please.
morning,
Good morning, ma'am. Can you raise your hand?
Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, please. Good morning. Raise your hand, please. You're giving
I'm
me the
raising my
thumbs up.
hand, sir.
Walang video.
There's no video, Your Honor.
You have no video. Can you punch your video so we can see your beauty into the light?
Okay. No, sir.
Okay, all right.
Good
Now
morning, Senator. Good morning.
you're wearing glasses. You've got
Yeah,
very
sir.
prominent rouge on your cheekbones, and you've got nice lipstick. Okay, Emily.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator. Good
Thank you. I
morning,
know this is
everyone.
good.
Good morning, Senators. I am Emily Gardose, team leader of agencies.
Thank you. I always like to see somebody who's very bubbly. Who's next, Rudy?
From the Land Transportation Office, Assistant Secretary Edgar G. Galvante.
Secretary Galvante? Yes, okay. Good morning to you, sir. Next.
Attorney Romeo Veracruz,
Attorney
Executive
Romeo
Director.
Veracruz. Where are you, Mr. Veracruz? Mr. Veracruz, are you there? Kindly press your button to show your face, please.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Raise your hand so we can see you. You have to understand my position. I'm looking at the TV set, and if you do not raise your hand, I'm not going to be able to recognize you. Mr. Veracruz, raise your hand, please.
I am raising my hand, Honorable Chairman. I am now raising my hand.
You're raising your hand without a video.
Video is on, Mr. Chairman.
It is not on. There. Mr. Galvante came in. Where is Veracruz? You're still off. I can see that. You're still off. Are you at home or are you at the office?
I'm in the office, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
so
Together
there are
with Asa Galvante.
13,000 employees there that can teach you how to push the button to show your video.
Sure. Punta ko yan. Punta ko yan.
Let's go back there. Okay, work on it. And the moment you're there, sound off that you're already pushed the button. All right, next, Rudy.
Attorney Mercy Jane Paras-Lanes, Chief Operations Division.
Good morning, Mr.
Hello,
Chair.
Mercy. Where are you, Mercy?
Mr. Chair here.
Who's the gentleman beside you? Your husband or your wife?
He is our Executive Director, Attorney Vera Cruz. He transferred here while the...
Okay, stop running, stop hiding behind the ladies' skirts. Okay, next.
Victor Emmanuel Caindec, Regional Director, LTO Region 7.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Where are you?
I'm here, Mr. Chair.
I know you're there, but you gotta push the button so I can see you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Rudy, go ahead. We'll get back to Mr. Kendek later. What else?
We have two newcomers, Asuncion Maningas, Chief Accountant, and Sheila Rodriguez, Accountant 2.
Who's the lady raising her hand?
Good morning, sir. I'm Asuncion Maningas.
I will ask you to take off your mask for 3 seconds so that I can see you. All right. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Sheila Rodriguez.
Mute.
Good morning. Hello. Hello, sir. Good morning po, sir. Sheila Rodriguez from
Nasaan po
LTO
kayo?
Accounting.
Taas, at pakitaas ang kamay, nakikita ko lahat.
Accounting LDO.
You're the one with the apple cut hair? Apple cut ba yan? Above. Alright. Alright, go ahead. Hindi ko pinapansin eh. Go ahead.
From the Philippine National Police, Police General Dibold Sinas, Chief.
Welcome, General Sinas. Thank you for coming.
Good morning po, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Bakit gumagalaw po?
Mabuhay kayo, sir.
I've always been fascinated by your name, the Bold.
Yes, sir.
Yes, your father must have loved you very much to make you the Bold so that you became Chief PNP.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, and then Alexander Tagum, our Chief Highway Patrol. Alex, are you there? Alex Tagum, you can come out now. You're not in the highway. Okay, there you go.
Mr. Chair, he is not present yet because the last time we contacted him, he was in a meeting and he said he was going to join us as soon as the meeting is over.
I saw him. Director HPG, I saw him. I already saw him. Alex, are you there? Alex Tagum, please.
Yes, sir. I am here, sir.
There you go. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Lapit siya lang yung TV sa inyo. Lapit yung TV sa akin, yung computer. Lapit sa akin. Anyway, anybody else?
From the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Mr. Chair, Attorney Bernardo Paul Somera, Chief Regional Investigation Division, RR13 Cebu.
Mr. Somera, are you there?
I am present, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Attorney Larry Barcelo, also BIR.
Sulat yan. Larry Barcelo, Walang Baron, Tagalog. Where are you, Larry? In Manila? In Manila or Lapu-Lapu? You're on mute. Press the button.
Quezon City, sir. I'm in Quezon City National Office, BIR.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What else?
From the motor dealers, Mr. Chair, Carl Ryan Lim, Dr. Silvestre Lumapas, Marvin Kendu, Janine Du.
Are you there, Marvin? Marvin, are you there? The Director General should be the one to ask them if they're there, not the chairman. Come on.
Yeah. Mr. Marvin Kendu is there. He's raising his hand, but we cannot hear his voice.
You're supposed to be good in computers. There you go, Marvin. All right.
Janine Du, President, Desmar Corporation.
Yes.
She's raising her hand, Mr. Chair.
You saw her already. Saw her.
Marie Chris.
There you go, Marie Chris.
Marie Chris Lopez is also here. Paulino Ongtenko, President, Motor Trade Nationwide Corporation.
Paulino Ongtenko. Mr. Ongtenko.
Ongtenko.
Mr. Ongtenko, are you there?
He's raising his hand, Mr. Chair, but we cannot hear his voice.
Yes, sir. All right, I can see you now. Thank you. Anybody else?
And Mr. Celso Namoro, Executive Vice President, Motor Trade Nationwide Corporation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Somebody please unmute after you have already been recognized so that you will not interfere in the communications. Thank you, Celso. All right.
Your Honor, that is the last. 4 persons are new today and therefore have not had their oaths taken yet. They are former Undersecretary Jose Perpetuo Lotilla, as his former Assistant Secretary Fortunato Caringal, and from the LTO.
Just a moment. As your name is mentioned, please stand up and raise your hand so we can see you.
Yusek Jose Perpetuo Lotilla, Former Assistant Secretary Fortunato Caringal, Miss Asuncion Maningas, and Miss Sheila Rodriguez. Kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? They have nodded their heads. Mr. Chair, therefore, saying...
Nothing is not enough. I asked them to stand up so we can see them and we can hear their voice. Could you repeat the process again, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Yusek Jose Perpetuo Lutilla, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I do.
Ba't galit ka? Sit down, please. Go ahead.
Mr. Asek Fortunato Caringal, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
I do.
Thank you.
Miss Asuncion Maningas, Chief Accountant, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, Miss Maningas?
I do.
Thank you. And the last, Mr. Chair, is Sheila Rodriguez. Ms. Sheila Rodriguez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
I do.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sheila. Okay. Thank you all very much. I think, Rudy, you missed some of the witnesses. We have some witnesses here involving riding in tandem. I may call or could not call them, but they're here. Do you have their names?
Yes, Your Honor, we have names here, but because they had... we have Mr. Ricky Esteban, Mr. William Dahanay, and Attorney Ethel Magkamit.
If any of you are there, can you please sound off? Nakapag-oath na ba yung mga yan?
Yeah, last hearing, Mr. Chair. Last hearing. Yes, sir.
Can you ask the secretary to call them just to watch, so if I need them, I can call them? Rudy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will call. We will text them
Thank
again.
you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Like I said, good morning to everyone and thank you for your cooperation. Like I said, this is the fourth hearing. It looks like we're going to go on like other previous hearings until we get to the bottom of this. It's just too much pain for our country. Nahihiya ako sa mga tao na nahihirapan yung mga tao. Araw-araw na magmula nagsimula ang hearing, marami po, Secretary Galvante, na nagpupunta sa akin at dinidenounce na hindi nila nakukuha yung kanilang plaka. Yung iba hindi nakukuha yung certificate of registration, marami pa rin sila. At yung iba umaangal sa taas ng singil ng installment, yung interest rate. At yung RFID na sinasabi nyo, hindi pa rin nila nararamdaman. So, as usual, the problem is enforcement. Kung gusto, and I will reduce that, at Tagalogin ko, enforcement. Ang enforcement, kung gusto, maraming paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan. I'm sure you all agree with that. Kung gustong hulihin yung mga tiwali, mahuhulihan. Pero kung ayaw, we look the other way because you think we are the Filipinos of old. Natatanggapin lang ako ng sinabi ng sumasakop sa atin. It is my hope that we don't get to a situation like Myanmar na talaga nagalit na ang tao, bumoto sila, hindi tinanggap yung boto, 2 babae na ang namamatay doon. Yung mga people power, I respect that. But in reality, it's got to be every day of our life na dapat tayo sumusunod sa batas at pinapairal ang batas. Now today, I would like to start by saying, by making a preliminary statement. We have now graduated, actually, unless may gusto pa sabihin yung mga dealer, I will be transparent. Your mother called me and asked me kung pwede, huwag na kayong tawagin. Pero pinatawag ko pa rin kayo because that is the law. I am required to do that. I'm sorry, Mrs. Lu. But I think I have enough. Like I said, I don't need anybody to prove my case na meron kayo tinatawag na samahan, MIRDU, na kayo ang nagre-register ng makina, ng motor, at yung mga sistema ninyo. Bagamat ito ay negosyo, ay nakakalaman kayo ng gusto sa pamagitan ng mga gimmick ninyo na hindi nabibigay yung certificate of registration na dapat kayo ang kumuha at nagbibigay kayo lamang ng mga invoices. And I have a witness behind me. Later on, I will show it to you. Nakalagay pa ang pangalan nyo. Itong promissory note na nakalagay dyan, ang lalaki ng babayaran nila. Tinumpit nga namin last week, maabot from 36% to 46% ang interest rate. Siyempre, sa kagustuhan ng tao makabili, sabik na sabik, bibili. Pero hindi naman dapat masyadong upakan sa interest rate na hindi nila makukuha. Andiyan ang Department of Trade. Tama po ba yung sinasabi ko, Miss Department of Trade? Yusek Castelo. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Tama po.
In other words, you are the guardian na dapat po proteksyonan natin. Lahat ng tao sa gobyerno, dapat proteksyonan yung mga taong mamimili. Lalo na itong motorsiklo, malaki-laki ang perang hinahabol dyan, ang laki-laki ng perang binabayad nila. Makatarungan ba, halimbawa, yung installment na napakalaki ng binabayad na 5% compounded, makatarungan ba yan?
No, sir. Hindi po makatarungan.
Hindi makatarungan. Although we don't have a usury law anymore, nonetheless, it's unconscionable is the word. Unconscionable, correct?
Oh, yes, sir. It's highly unconscionable. It's under Article 52 of the Consumer Act, sir, Mr. Chair.
Can you cite that law for me, please?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a little bit...
I have it here.
Ay, naku.
Teka, sir. Article 52.
Babasahin ko na lang sa inyo para mabilis.
Yes, sir.
Unfair or unconscionable sales act or practice. An unfair or unconscionable sales act or practice by a seller or supplier in connection with a consumer transaction ay binaviolate ang chapter whether it occurs bago, habang, or pagkatapos ng transaksyon. Isang act or practice ay masasabing hindi parehas or unfair or unconscionable, hindi katanggap-tanggap ng konsensya. Whenever the producer, manufacturer, distributor, supplier, or seller, by taking advantage of the consumer's physical, nilalamangan niya dahil, hindi bagay yung physical dito, or mental infirmity, hindi naman siguro bagay yan dahil may mga utak naman yung mga tao. Ignorance, papayag yan dahil kumisan hindi nila alam yung buong batas. Illiteracy, maaaring pumasok dyan. Lack of time, wala silang oras dahil naiipit sila, hindi sila makapagtrabaho. Or the general conditions of the environment or surroundings. Yan, kailangan nilang ang traffic napakabigat at napakahirap makalakad sa ating bayan at mawawalan tayo ng trabaho. At ang ginawa ngayon ng seller ay talagang in-induce. Ano ba sa Tagalog in-induce? Hindi tinulak. Hinimok. O inuto. Nilinlang ang consumer to enter into a sales or lease transaction grossly inimical, masyadong talon-talo yung consumer sa interest ng consumer or grossly one-sided in favor of the producer, manufacturer, distributor, supplier, or seller. I ask you now, as Asek Castelo, I see you in TV once in a while, pasok ba siya dito sa mga binanggit ko na talagang pinagsasamantalahan yung mga tao dahil sa kakulangan ng kanilang pag-aaral o kanilang literacy o kakulangan ng alam nila sa batas na yung kanilang pinibili ay talagang talon-talo ang consumer at dapat talaga mabigyan ng parusa. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, sir. Pasok na pasok po, especially that the contracts that they provide to the buyers are in English na hindi rin po madaling maintindihan, sir. Especially that the buyers of motorcycles, alam naman natin, sir, karamihan sa kanila, hindi po basta-basta makakaintindi ng ganong kontrata.
Hindi lang hindi maintindihan, maliit pa yung sulat, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ang tawag natin dyan, abogado ka ba, Ruth?
Yes, sir. It's a contract of adhesion, sir.
Correct. Yan.
Opo. I'm a lawyer by profession, sir.
That's very good. I'm glad that you can understand. Because natuturuan mo ako ng contract of adhesion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyway, to make a long story short, lahat ito nilabag nila at in determining whether an act or practice is unfair and unconscionable, the following circumstances shall be considered. 1. The producer, manufacturer, distributor, supplier, or seller took advantage of the inability of the consumer, yung walang kakayahan yung consumer, to reasonably protect his interest. Tama? Wala siyang kaya. Lalo na nakalagay na napakaliit na salita. Ano ho? To understand the language of or agreement or similar factors. So, na-take advantage siya. Tama po ba yan, ma'am? Ms. Castello?
Opo, sir.
That the transaction that the seller or supplier induced the consumer to enter into it was excessively one-sided in favor of the seller or supplier. Halimbawa, may 10% attorney's fees kahit na walang legal action. At kung 25% attorney's fees pagka dinimanda sila. Tama po ba yun?
Opo, sir. It's highly unfair to the buyer, sir.
Hindi makatarungan, hindi questionable, correct?
Opo, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
At saka pinapipirma sila ng ilang beses sa mga dokumento. Iba-ibang klase, may waiver. Tama po ba yun? Nakakita na ba kayo ng mga kontrata nila? Sabi ni Secretary Lopez, 4,000 raw ang hawak niyang mga kontrata nila. Ako meron dito.
Yes, sir. Yung mga, like I said po, kahit nga abogado, sir, may hirapan umintindi. Not only because it's in English, pero yung construction pa po nung mga contracts nila na pinapapirmahan sa mga buyers, sir, hindi po siya madaling intindihan ng ordinary buyer, sir.
Dahan-dahan ka, baka ibang abogadong kasama natin magalit sa'yo. Si Attorney Igor. Nakakaintindi naman. Yung promissory note, nakita nyo?
Opo, sir. Yes, sir.
Makatarungan po ba yung promissory note?
Hindi din po, sir. Dahil dun sa dami-daming interest na i-charge nila pagka hindi po nakabayad. And the consumer, the buyer, sir, will have no opportunity. Hindi naman po nila binibigyan ng opportunity to question the promissory note. Pero kung kailangan po talaga nila, napipilitan silang pirmahan yung promissory note, sir.
Ano malaking impact nito? Pag kinuha, hindi sila nakabayad at gustong kunin dahil wala silang certificate of registration, babatakin na lang yung kanilang motorsiklo. Tama po ba yun?
Po, sir, it's a common practice, sir, ng mga sellers.
Common practice. Babatakin yung kanilang pinaghirapan na binayaran. Wala na yung binayaran nila na 8 buwan o 2 taon. Tama po ba yun?
Opo, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
And that is in contravention of law. Would that be correct, ma'am?
Oh, yes, sir. It's contrary to law, sir.
And the law violated is the whole chattel mortgage law, but particularly Section 14, which mandates that the mortgage property must be foreclosed and sold at a public auction. Tama po ba yun?
Opo, sir.
Violation, non-execution of a chattel mortgage non-registration of a chattel mortgage. Nire-register ba nila yung mortgage nila? Karamihan hindi, di ba? Dahil ayaw nila magbayad ng fees. Tama po ba yun, ma'am?
Opo, sir. Hindi rin po registered. Wala nga silang certificate of registration na hawak, sir, ang buyers. Even if
Yun
they're
na nga.
encumbrance.
O kahit na meron, o walang encumbrance, the public ay talagang delikado. Pwedeng bilhin ng publiko yung motorsiklo na hindi niya alam may encumbrance. Tama po ba yun?
Opo, sir. Kung wala pong kahit encumbered CR, wala pong proof of ownership yung owner, so anybody can get it from him, sir. Yung
That's correct. As pag nawala siya, nag-comply siya sa pulis na wala yung motorsiklo ko, anong tatanungin sa kanya ng pulis?
Yung kanilang deed of sale lang, sir, na hindi rin naman proof of ownership. And sir, it's also a violation of the
Go ahead. Violation of
the motorcycle law, sir, kasi bawal naman po yung nagmamaneho ng motorsiklo na walang rehistro at walang plaka. So the buyer may always be apprehended by our traffic enforcers or highway patrol group anytime. So it's the buyer is running a very high risk, sir.
At ayon sa batas na ginawa ng inyong abang lingkod, pinirmahan na inaprubahan ng Senado at ng buong Kongreso, kailangan ito ay nakarehistro within 5 days sa LTO from such acquisition of ownership. At saka kung ibebenta niya yung kanyang motorsiklo, any sale or disposition of his or her motorcycle, kailangan meron nakalagay sa LTO yon, nakarehistro. Tama po ba yon?
Opo, sir. Opo.
Secretary Galvante, tama po ba yung sinabi ko, dapat nakarehistro?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, dapat po rehistrado bago nila gamitin sa ating pampublikong lansangan.
Thank you po. At nagpapatulong lang ako sa inyo dahil kayo ang LTO, dapat mapairal yan. At yung tao na hindi binibigay yung certificate of registration o dinidelay yung registration, whether LTO officials, employees who delay the release of the certificate of registration, bawal po yun, hindi po ba, ma'am?
Bawal po, sir. Opo, sir.
Bawal po ba yun, Secretary Galvante?
Yes, Your Honor, at they may be subject to sanction, Your Honor.
And the sanction is imprisonment or arresto mayor to prison correctional or a fine of not less than 20,000 pesos. Mukhang mababa yan. Baka tataasan na natin yan pagkatapos itong hearing na ito. But not more than 50,000 pesos or both. If a motorcycle that is not yet registered with the LTO is used in connection with an offense punishable under the penalty of the relevant offense shall be imposed on the offender. Halimbawa, nakamatay, ginamit ng riding in tandem, yung penalty na pagpatay, yun ang isasabit doon sa tao na humahawak ng motorsiklo at yung taong dating may-ari o siya pa rin may-ari, siya pa rin lang may-ari ng motorsiklo. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Secretary Galvante?
Yeah.
That is according
Yes,
to...
Your Honor.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Your Honor.
1125. Pinag-aralan ko po maigi ang batas na yan, kaya pinoproteksyonan ko lang naman po ang mga namibiling publiko para sa ganon, malaman nila, maaaring hindi na naiintindihan yung batas, hindi nila tinitingnan, kaya nagkakamali sila, nagbabayad sila, pero hindi nila binabasa, o di kaya naman hindi nila na-realize, pag wala silang plaka, mahuhuli sila, o kaya pag ginamit yung motorsiklo sa kasalanan na malaki, yun ang ipapataw sa kanila. In other words, masasama ang lahat na yan, pati harassment sa kalye, kasama yan. Kaya kawawang-kawawa ang motorcycle rider ng ating bayan. Yan ay, hindi ko na kailangan mag-aral. Alam ko dahil marami nagko-complain sa akin na ganyan na nga ang nangyayari. Ngayon, na-violate ang chattel mortgage law. Tatanungin ko naman ngayon, di ba dapat kung may linya sa chattel mortgage, Hindi ba sa pwedeng ipagbilian? Kadalasan po ba yung nakikita nyo, ma'am, naglalagay ng lien? Yung lien nakamarka doon na ito may utang. Ma'am?
Hindi nga po sir kasi wala pong CR na ini-issue so kahit yung lien hindi rin po nakikita.
Yung CR po, Certificate of Registration, baka yung nanonood, akala nila comfort room. Wala pong CR yung motorsiklo.
Yes sir.
Certificate of Registration. At dahil dyan, non-recording ng voluntary encumbrance on Certificate of Registration. The law violated is Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 5E, RA 4136, Land Transportation and Traffic Code. The person liable the persons liable are the dealers. Is that correct, ma'am? Or sir?
Yes sir.
And encumbrances of motor vehicles according to this law, mortgages, attachments, and other encumbrances of motor vehicles in order to be valid against third parties. Pinuproteksyonan yung baka ibenta naman nung, diba, may salbahe rin naman motorsiklo, bibenta nila, maluloko naman yung bibiling third person. Tama po ba yun?
Opo sir. Yes sir, tama po.
Or voluntary encumbrances shall likewise be properly recorded on the face of all outstanding copies of the certificates of registration of the vehicle concerned. Kung nakikinig yung mga nagmumotor, dapat pag may utang, kailangan naka-marka yun para sa inyong proteksyon. Para pag dinakaw, hindi nila marirehistro. Pag binenta, bago marehistro yung pakita na alam nila na hindi nyo sila niloloko. Tama po ba yun? Ma'am?
Opo sir, tama po.
Vehicles not registered with LTO are presumed to be carnap vehicles under Section 6 of RA 10883. Kung di nakarehistro ang motor vehicle, ang presumption ng batas ay carnap yan. Tama po ba yun, sir? Asek Calvante.
Yes, Your Honor.
So talagang lahat ng batas na binabasa ko ay talagang kawawa yung rider kung wala siyang certificate of registration. Kawawa siya pag hindi niya pag-aaralan yung batas. At dapat siguro, pag maglalabas ako sa pagkatapos ito na tinatawag nating Magna Carta na mga namimili ng motorsiklo, papatulong ako sa maganda at mabunyi na si Attorney Castello para ang mga tao malalaman nila pag binili nila kasama yon yung rights nila. Lalagay tayo doon nakasama sa kanila, yun. Now, para alam ng tao kung ano mangyayari. Ito, nakahanda na po. Ma'am, papadala ko sa inyo, pakicorrect nyo na lang. Mas magaling kayong lawyer sa akin eh. Pati sa LTO. Ano?
We'll learn from you, Mr. Chair.
Ano?
We'll learn from you, sir.
I just want to be sure na maproteksyon na ng tao because yan ang trabaho ninyo and I'm glad that you are there because mahirap eh. Kung hindi natin pagtutulungan, talagang kawawa itong mga nangyayaring ito. Kay Secretary Calvante rin, papadala ko yan para lalong natin malalaman kung ano ang ating mga kwan. Now, tatanungin ko lang kayo, ma'am, ano ba itong manufacturers, assemblers, importers, rebuilders, dealers, and other entities? Ang tawag nila, Mayordo. Nung marinig ko yan, akala ko weirdo. Is that legal? Sa kanila dadaan lahat yung certificate of registration? Private entity.
Kailangan po sir sa LTO.
In other words, ang LTO dapat ang siyang pagre-registruan, hindi bibigay. Para na lang gumawa tayo ng institutional fixing. Inaalis natin yung fixer. Nagkaroon bigla ng glorified fixing. Tama?
Opo. Yes, sir.
So, tatanungin ko sa Secretary Calvante, tutuloy pa ba ninyo itong sistemang ito? O sa ombudsman?
Yes, Your Honor. Re-reviewin po natin para matanggal yung maaaring kahina-hinalang gagawin ng may hindi magandang intensyon. But linawin ko lang po, ito po ay para ma-rehistro natin, ma-record yung mga items ng motor vehicle na ini-introduce sa market. So hindi po necessarily na dinilimit do sa mga distributors or dealers ang pagpaparehistro ng sasakyan. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, re-reviewin po natin to para may adjust natin at mawala yung maaaring opportunity ng pandaraya kung meron nun po.
Baka maunahan po kayo ng class suit. Baka maunahan tayo ng class suit ng mga motorsiklo. May laban sila pag nagsama-sama yung mga motorsiklo at nag-file sila ng class suit. Talagang matatamaan. Baka pati kayo matamaan dahil ayon sa batas, Section 13E of EO 125 Series of 1987, ang LTO lamang ang authorized to deputize law enforcement agencies, not private entities. You are a soldier, sir, and maybe your lawyers did not advise you properly, and I will grant you that, but alam niyo naman sa atin, ignorance of legis non excusat. Ignorance of the law does not excuse anybody. So dapat, tanongin ko ngayon si Professor Yerba. Tama po ba? Yebra, sorry. Kasi sanay ako nung araw, nung panahon, nung mga bata kami, ang sigaw namin pagka nagsasayo kami, Yeba. Ayan, ngayon, Yerba? Yebra. Ayan, parang Hinebra. May hinahos pangalan. But anyway, Professor Yebra, okay po ba yung sinabi natin? Tama po ba lahat yung mga law na binabasa natin? Kayo ang Undersecretary ng Department of Transportation. Yusek Yebra. Yusek Yebra, are you there? Huwag niyo muna talangin yung Secretary of Trade at Transportation. Kayo sumagot. Professor kayo sa Sambeda eh. Please connect. Anyway, we don't need it because we're all lawyers. I just wanted to confirm that you know about it. Because if you know about it and you're not doing anything about it, then you are guilty of nonfeasance. There is no legal basis in allowing, walang legal basis yan, mayordos to effect the registration of motor vehicles. Pwede silang maglagay na sama-sama sila, pero hindi sila pwedeng tatanggap ng rehistro at sila magpaparehistro. Tama po ba yun, Attorney Castello?
Sir, yes sir, tama po.
So may I request Secretary Castello and Secretary Lopez to stop this practice immediately? Buwagin dapat yan kagad.
Opo sir, we'll coordinate with the LTO sir, Mr. Chair.
Of course, we'll do it properly, but we don't want to embarrass any department here because we're all from the government. But the government is not without its devices to make sure that we stop such malpractices. Would you agree with that, ma'am?
I do, sir.
Thank you. Ganda ng I do mo, parang kang kinakasal. I do. Sige. Now, let me go beyond that. I think we have already stressed that well enough. Now, I'd like to know, I'd like to go now into another problem. I think yung mga, gusto ko lang talangin minsan, yung mga motorcycle dealers. Would you be willing, motorcycle dealers, to make adjustments sa inyong mga patakaran working with the trade para magkaroon tayo kayo, pero hindi naman sobra-sobra at puproteksyonin nyo rin yung inyong customer. Would you agree? Marvin? Any of you? The pure respect to your mother who said that you were all working hard. And
Yes,
I agree
Your
with
Honor,
that.
we're willing to cooperate and improve our process.
Who's talking? Celso Navarro.
Celso Navarro, Your Honor, from Motor Trade.
From Motor Trade, right? Motor Trade. Executive Vice President of Motor Trade Nationwide Corporation. So you agree na hindi naman kayo kailangan gipitin. Kailangan lang na kumita kayo ng tama, pero hindi naman kailangan maapi ng husto yung mga taong bayan na ihilahin. Tandaan nyo ang panahon ngayon. Kahit na hindi walang COVID, ang tao nangangarap na umasenso ang buhay niya. Pag nagkaroon ng motorsiklo yung kapitbahay, gusto niya rin magkaroon ng motorsiklo. May papasal niya yung kanyang mga anak. Di ba? O kaya, mas mabilis siya makapunta sa trabaho. Huwag naman natin pagsamantalahan yung kagustuhan niya na magkaroon siya ng pag-asenso sa bayan. Kaya napakahalaga sa akin yan na ang ating mga kalsada ay na-democratize na. Di ba, Attorney Castelo? Na kahit na sino na pwede na makabili ng motorsiklo at kailangan nila, hindi naman kayo malulugi. Lahat ng tao gustong bumili ng motorsiklo eh. At pagka hindi naman natin naprotektahan ang mamayan, bigo tayo bilang Estado. Talo ang bayan, talo ang tao. Again, I ask the question and I wish you wouldn't hesitate. I thank Mr. Motor Trade Celso Namoro na siya ay gagawa ng paraan. Hindi ako nagpapagwapo dito. Kung ayaw nyo, dito tuloy ko itong investigasyon at talagang magpa-file ako mismo ng mga kaso sa mga katiwalian na nakikita ko nangyayari. Would I be well within our rights? Would the DTI be well within its rights to go after these people?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Certainly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So my suggestion is, kayo, pag-usapan nyo magkakapatid, I think you come from a good family. Kung sa yung kausap ko yung nanay nyo, I respect her. Di ko siya kilala, I've never met her. You know, I take all the calls in my telephone. Kung sinabi niya siya yon, nakinig ako. Sabi niya, pwede ba huwag mo lang tawagin yung mga anak ko at na-stress sila. Sabi ko, hindi po pwede. Tatawagin ko, medyo tapos na ako, pero humahanap ako ng paraan na sila mismo mag-ayos dahil naman yung mga sinasabi ninyo, complaint ninyo sa ibang sa LTO, dapat maayos na rin ninyo dahil kung pinatutupad naman yung batas, dapat tuparin natin yung batas. I ask you again, would you now be willing to make adjustments on the way you do your business? There is such a thing as business ethics. There is such a thing as treating your fellow man with respect. No unjust enrichment. Nasa batas lahat yan. Are you willing? Somebody was raising from the Du family kanina.
Mr. Chair, we're always willing to cooperate.
Could you identify yourself, please? Because it's very hard to see you. Is that you, Marvin?
Yes, po, Mr. Chair. This is Marvin.
Marvin, yes, okay.
Yes.
So you're willing to cooperate and sit down and make sure that we apply yung dapat natin gawin.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. I think early this week, DTI already called meetings with...
ng motor, namili ng motor, hindi kayo dahil lahat nakarehistro. Tama po ba yan? Okay po ba sa inyo yan, magkakapatid?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I didn't
Sige na po, gusto ko lang... Ano po yan?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will follow the law and cooperate.
That is Miss Janine Desmark.
Sir.
Thank you very much, Janine. I appreciate that. And I think kami ni Attorney Costello will try to work with you. Di ba, Attorney Costello? And also the motorcycle riders para maayos na ito. There are 18 million motorcycle riders that want services. And I think that's more than a market. I was in Procter & Gamble before. I was a marketing man, and I know you can market it better. All right? Is that all right with you?
We will, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Janine. And thank you all. I was going to ask the BIR dahil I will ask you at another time because maybe in executive session, if I may, pero wala pa akong kasama senador dito. Although we have a quorum, because this is a continuation of last week's hearing, I will also ask them. And I don't need to do that kung tayo magagawa natin itong ginagawa ninyo para maayos natin at mabawi natin yung dapat bayaran ng ating mga kababayan na taxes. Dahil hirap na hirap tayong pambili ng tinatawag nating mga vaccines. Ang laki ng gastos natin at sa mga tao. Kaya dapat pagbigyan nyo na ang lahat, magtulong-tulong tayo bilang mga Pilipino. This does not mean that I'm exculpating anyone from possible crimes, no? But this is also mean that we can also find a way as Filipinos to respect one another and find a solution. Right, Attorney Costello, do you like that?
Oh, yes. Definitely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now I will now go to another topic that is equally important. And this involves the LTO. The assignment of the Senate to Blue Ribbon Committee to investigate. Sabi ko nga nung una, ay napakahalaga. Pero bago ako pumunta doon, gusto ko munang malaman kung ano ang naging ugat ng problema sa plaka. I will now try and explain it to you. If all of you are there will listen, I hope you can understand. Yes. Papalabas ko sa inyo ang video. Pwede na ba? Panoorin po lamang ninyo, Secretary Lopez, Secretary Galvante, Secretary Yebra. Somebody please call Secretary Yebra because I need him here.
Let's welcome the millennium with Philippines 2000. Sa panahon naman ni Arap, angat ang Pinoy. Kay PGMA, matatag na republika ang bida. At sa administrasyong Noynoy Aquino, heto ang bumabandera. No plate available. Kaya bahala ka na muna sa plaka ng iyong sasakyan.
Binibigyan natin silang pahintulot na temporary gumawa ng plaka nila na sa disenyo at hugis na accepted natin.
Kaya naman ang ating mga plaka ngayon, may nasa karton, may nasa lata, may sulat kamay, at kung ano-ano pa. Pero meron din namang nag-effort talaga.
Pagawa ko ng sarili ko para 450, the same price binayaran ko for the new plate. Dagdag gastos, pinalagyan ko ng daang baluktot, republikang walang plaka. Kasi naniniwala ako na hindi naman matuloy itong daan na ito eh. At naniniwala ako na dahil hanggang ngayon wala pa rin silang plaka.
Na-amuse tayo, di ba? Dahil alam mo naman ng Pinoy, di ba? Sanay tayo na pag may problema, dinadaan na lang natin sa patawa or sa joke or kung ano man sinasabi natin. Nalulungkot din tayo kasi bumababa yung antas ng ating mga license plates. Sariling bayan naman lang kanilang kinukutya.
Bayad ng plaka. Wala namang plaka na ibinibigay. Noong araw, every year pinapalitan kami ng plate number. Nakakainis nga kung iisipin mo. Mas maganda pa yung luma kaysa ngayon. It's failure of this government.
Nakakalito naman daw sa ating mga pulis ang iba-ibang itsura ng plaka ngayon.
Nagkakaroon ng kahirapan ang pulis na sumita ngayon doon sa mga walang plaka. Kaya mga gumagawa ng kalokohan, magpalit lang ng plaka, magsulat-sulat lang ng papel doon sa mga plaka, hindi basta-basta rin masita ng pulis. So yung mga loko-loko, tatargetin na ngayon yung walang plaka. Buburehin ngayon yung conduction sticker sa windshield, magsusulat kayo ng bagong plate number. So here comes the police naman, kahit checkpoint yan, hindi mo naman basta masisita dahil porke improvise yung plate number. Kasi uso na nga improvised plate number. Doon sa crime prevention aspect, medyo nagkakaroon ng diferensya.
At kung ikaw naman daw ay nakakita o nasangkot sa isang aksidente, hindi rin madaling tandaan ang plate number ng pasaway na motorista na tatakbo sa kanyang responsibilidad. Kung tutuusin, hindi ito dapat nangyayari ngayon kung hindi ipinagpilitan ng pamahalaan, partikular na ng DOTC at LTO ang plate. standardization program simula pa noong 2012.
Gusto natin talaga ito pagpare-parehasin kasi hindi madaling pekein, hindi basta-basta magagaya, hindi magagamit sa krimen. Pangalawa, dahil may tamper-proof bolt, hindi mo maililipat, hindi rin mo magagamit sa krimen. So lahat ito ay pine-preserve yung katayuan at katinuan ng mga sasakyan sa lansangan.
Kaya lang, puno pala ng butas ang implementasyon ng bagong pakulong ito ng gobyerno. Halos nga po kalahating bilyong piso na ang naibayad po ng LTO sa kanilang kontratista ng mga plate number o plaka noong po June 30 ng 2014. Pero sabi po ng COA, sandali lang, disallowed yan. At ang COA ay nagsabi pa na meron silang nasilip na mga irregularidad sa pinasok pong kontratang ito ng DOTC LTO sa kanilang mga plate number o plaka. Bailon ngayon!
Butan isang video. Actually, papasalamat ako kay Ted Filon. Hirap ko lang yan. Pero nasabi ko na yan noong nakaraan. Ngayon, para maintindihan lalo ng tao, papakita ko sa inyo ito susunod na video naman.
Na napaka-unfair kasi nagbabayad ka ng monthly niya tapos ORCR mo, Xerox, nagbabayad ka ng malaking presyo sa motor na halos triple after 3 years pa. Yun ang yun ang unfair talaga. Yung plaka kasi napakasakit sa ulo. Tulad sa amin ng mga bumibiyahe ng malalayo, naiikot namin yung over Metro Manila. Kasi yung plaka, iba't ibang municipality, iba't ibang policy nila pagdating sa plaka. Tulad ko, may motor ako since 2018 pa nakuha. Wala pa yung plaka. Which is unfair kasi may nakikita akong mga bagong unit ngayon na kinuha. Meron ng mga plaka. Meron na siyang plaka, may RFID sticker na sa harap. Pero kami na mga nauna, yung mga kasamahan kong 2016 pa yung motor, wala pa yung mga plaka nila. Nagtitiis kaming magpagawa ng mga metal plates sa labas. Which is, pagdating sa ibang municipality, sinisita, hinuhuli kasi iba-iba yung policy nila. Hindi naman talaga pwedeng gayahin yung original na plaka ngayon dahil nga sa batas. Pero sana man lang mabigyan ng mga riders na na ibigay na yung plaka na hinahanap. Lalo na sa mga unang-unang modelo na motor. Yung mula 2016, wala pang mga plaka. Nagtitiis sila sa mga basag-basag ng plaka, lumang-luma na. Lumuma na yung motor, yung plaka, wala pa rin. Feel ko, sana ito na yung simula ng magkaroon naman kami ng rights. Sa Pilipinas, sa nakikita ko, ang mga two-wheel rider ang pinaka-minamaliit sa kalsada eh. Mayroon kaming motorcycle lane, pero four wheels ang dumadaan. Kaya sana magkaroon kami ng security, tsaka fair para sa iba't ibang motorista. Kasi pare-pareho lang naman nagmamaneho sa kalsada eh.
Pag kumuha ka ng motor kasi, kahit may pang-cash ka, pipilitin ka mag-installment para kumita kayong dealer. Katulad ngayon, ako, 4 years na yung motor ko, tapos ko nahulugan, pero kakarehistro ko, wala pa rin akong plaka eh. Hindi magandang, pakinggan na tapos mo nang bayaran yung motor mo, tapos sayong-sayo na yon pero wala ka pa rin plaka. Gumagawa kami ng ganyan temporary plate. Minsan, pag iba yung kulay, sablay sa kanila yan, huli ka pa. Imbis na nag-provide ka na nga ng kantong plaka mo, huhulihin ka pa. Kasi mali daw, substandard daw. Kung may plaka na, hindi na kami gagastos ng pagpagawa ng temporary plate na ganyan. Mas pabor yung sa mga plaka. Maganda na may pagkakakilanlan agad yung motor. Kasi nga, sa mga nangyayaring riding in tandem na mas maganda may plaka talaga bawat motor. Agad, pagkakuha pa lang ng motor. Papasalamat kami kay Senator Gordon sa panukalang batas niya na to. Kasi makakatulong to ng lubos sa mga rider.
Ayan, ang tanong ko ngayon kay Attorney Castelo, ano ibig sabihin na res ipsa loquitur?
The thing speaks for itself, Mr. Chair.
Yung sinabi dyan, speaks for itself. Hindi na
Yes,
tayo
sir.
kailangan kumbinsin pa na nagkulang talaga ang LTO at DOTR. not just for this term, but for the previous term. Tama ba yan?
Oh, yes, sir.
Secretary
Tama po.
Calvante, I hate to put you on the spot because it dropped into your lap. But ang totoo niyan, totoo talaga nagpapalit taon-taon ng plaka. Tama po ba yan? Secretary Calvante? Sir. Secretary Calvante? Sir, baka nakamute kayo. Anyway, the thing speaks for itself. Kikita nyo ang complaint ng mga tao. Mamaya, pag dumating si Secretary Calvante, Rudy, you might wanna call them para
Yes, sir, we will.
makasagot dyan.
Yes, sir, we will.
Secretary Yebra. Ha? Ano? Now, I have to ask Secretary Calvante, I need him here, to tell us what the situation is. Yusek Yebra, are you there?
Mr. Chair, yes, nandito po kami ni Asa Calvante.
Malapit na ako magalit sa inyo, ha? I don't want to put anybody in contempt. We're trying to finish this investigation. Meron pa tayong susunod dito. And I want to help everybody, especially the public. Now, nakita nyo yung palabas doon kanina. Matagal na yan nilabas. Hindi tayo kumilos. Ngayon, inabot na tayo ng Blue Ribbon. Matagal ko na rin sinasabi yan. Pinagtatawanan pa ako na bakit ba pinagpipilitan ko yung plaka? Sapagkat masyado ng maraming namamatay. Hindi na ako nagpunta ron. Dahil alam naman ninyo, maraming namamatay. Talagang epidemic. Ngayon, meron tayong pandemic, no? Na hindi lang sa COVID, ngunit dito sa mga motorsiklo na pumapatay ng tao. Hanggang umaabot na tayo sa United Nations, nagpapaliwanag si Secretary Maynardo Guevara at medyo tayo ay nalalagay sa alanganin. Now, tama lang yan. Dahil dapat magpaliwanag tayo. I'm sure may paliwanag naman ang ating mga kapulisan dyan. Now, tatanungin ko lang si Secretary Calvante. Andiyan na ba kayo, sir?
Mr. Chair, if narinig na po ba kami, Mr. Chair?
Yes, I can hear you.
Mr. Chair, we apologize. We are all here sa LTO. We are all here sa LTO, si Asa Calvante, si De Vera Cruz, and other DOT. Hindi lang po ata naririnig yung mga statements namin. So inaayos na po namin. We sincerely apologize, Mr. Chair.
Kaya hindi narinig, hindi ko pa kayo nakikita. Pero ito nakikita ko na ngayon.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asa Calvante po. Yung pong
Yes, I know.
binabanggit nyo kanina, dati po, pagkakain, alam ko, taon-taon, pero sa mga very recently po, hindi na po taon-taon ang pagpapalit ng plaka.
Because po, ang nangyari, gusto natin, one plate forever.
Yes.
Ganun ba nangyari? Not even 5 years. One plate forever. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Yung for as long as yung life ng sasakyan po, yes. Pero yung pong disenyo o yung itsura ng plaka, yung po ang maaring magpalit-palit. Dahil po kung minsan kung nasisira na nga po. Kaya sa pagkakaalam ko po, ang estimate na life ng plaka ngayon is 5 years bago po palitan. Kung sakaling magpapalitan po.
Sir, you saw the complaint of the common man. Di po ba? Ang hirap naman, pinaghirapan namin, 3 taon na dumarating na plaka. At ang inuuna pa yung mga bago. I'm glad that lumabas na yung bagong plaka natin. Di po ba, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Lumabas na yung bagong plaka po. Opo, sige po.
Yes, Your Honor. Anticipating po na may papasa na yung batas. Noong 2000, ang inumpisahan po natin i-manufacture ng plaka, yung narehistro po ng 2018. Sa ngayon po, around 1.5 million na na-produce niyan at na-distribute na, ang iba po, on the way to be delivered to the regions, to the dealers. At dahil po doon sa nabanggit nyo nga na sinisingilan lang ng bayad ng plaka na wala naman sa kanilang ibibigay na plaka. Kaya po dito sa starting January 2021, nag-produce na po tayo ng plaka na current year. Kaya sa ngayon po, meron tayong mga 45,000 plates for 2021 na nai-distribute. Yan po siguro ang nakita nung nagsalita kanina na yung mga bagong motorsiklo lang for this year, may plaka na, samantalang yung dati wala pa. But nagpapatuloy po ang production natin. Meron tayong mga machines na dedicated para sa mga previous years at meron tayong machines na dedicated for the current year. Pero as of February pa yan.
I have your report as of February 2, 2021. At ang nagawa niyong plaka na process ninyo or na-produce is 1,276,149. Tama po ba yan, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Pero as of March 1, 1.5 million na po. And about 45,000 para doon sa current year, Your Honor.
Ilan po doon ang 4-wheel, ilan doon ang 2-wheel motorsiklo?
Yan po ay puro sa ano po yan, puro sa motorcycle plates.
Yes, sir.
Yung
Okay.
pong yes, sir.
Tama po yan. Okay. At ito na po yung bagong plaka na pinibigay nyo. Ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
At ito ay hindi doble plaka. Yan, nasa likod na yan ang sticker na nilalagay sa harap. Napakaliit lang po. Ito lang, ganyan lang kaliit. Ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
may paliwanag ko po.
Go ahead, sir.
Inuumpisa na rin po natin ang pagproproduce ng front plate. Bagamat hindi po LTO yan ang maggagawa.
Opo, hindi bali po. Basta may plate na tayo. Pero yung front plate, hindi plate yun. Sticker lang po. Di ba?
Sticker type po.
Sticker lang.
Type. Yes, Your Honor.
Sticker type lang po. Kasi nahihilo eh. Yung mga salbahe, ginagawan doble plaka. Hindi naman doble plaka yan eh. I was very reasonable. Dahil sa Europe, meron sila mga plaka sa harap. Dito, ayaw ng mga driver. At meron ako mga sample na pinakita dyan nung araw. Europe yon at saka sa ibang bansa. Pero sa atin, sticker lang, pumayag na ako. At yan na nga nangyari, nakatipid na tayo sa plaka, sticker na lang. Ayan yung una kong pinakita in 2007 ata, nung una ako senador. Pero makita nyo, malayo, no? Pero ngayon, ang plaka ngayon, ayan, nagkuha tayo ng sample, Singapore. Ayan, may sticker na malaki doon sa mga kwan. At pakita nyo, sige. Sa Roma, ayan. Malalaki talaga ang plaka nila. Ayan, sige, go ahead. At Thailand, ayan, mayroong mga uod pang kasama. Poland, ayan. India, medyo mahaba. Ayan, go ahead. May front plate. Makikita nyo sa India, may front plate. So yung mga motor rider, may front plate sa ibang bansa. Hindi ko inimbento yan. Pero pumayag na tayo ay merong sticker plate lang. Hindi ako naguhugas ng kamay. Ang gusto ko, protektado lahat ang tao sa mamamaril at pinakita ko na sa inyo yung mga sitwasyon na binabaril ang tao na walang plaka. At yung pagkapiloso po ng iba na sasabihin wala namang babaril na lalagyan ng plaka. Tama yon, pero kung wala kang plaka, under the law, tama po ba ito, Secretary Galvante? Lakas nyo ito. Under the law, dapat meron kayong tinatawag na command center na nakalagay lahat ang plaka at kung may nawalang motorsiklo, tatawag sa inyo at kung may lumalakad na walang motorsiklo, itatawag sa inyo walang plaka at para mahuli ka agad. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor, Chairman.
So gusto ko malaman ng publiko yan. It is all for their protection. Ayan yung plaka natin sa gabi, oh. Kitang-kita. And you should be proud of it because nakakatulong yan. Ayan, hindi na makakatakbo basta-basta yan. Pero, ibig sabihin, pag walang plaka, yung mga piloso po, sinasabi pa sa akin, maglagay raw ng dagdag na ilaw, magdagdag ng CCTV, Pwede yan kung mayaman lang tayo. Pero basta may plaka, may laban. Kung walang plaka, i-report nyo. Sinasabi ko na sa inyo kahit na ngayon. Sinabi ko na yan kay General Sinas. Sinabi ko na yan kay HPG Alex Tagum. At sumulat na ako sa DILG na lahat ng local government, pagka walang plaka, huliin kaagad sapagkat assume karnap yan. Tama po ba yan? General Galvante? Hello?
Yes, Your Honor. Tama po yon.
So yan, inaanunsyo natin sa buong bayan, pag wala kang plaka, kukunin yung motorsiklo mo at ikaw ay pipresume na karnapper. Kaya nga ngayon, pag bumili ka ng motorsiklo dahil ginagawa na ito mga plaka ito at hinahabol, magkakaroon na kayo ng plaka. Alright? At within 5 days, dapat may plaka. Kaya hinay-hinay sa kanunay. Alam ko mahirap gawin yan. Kaya sinasuggest ko kay Secretary Galvante na pati yung ating Muntinlupa, pwede silang gamitin yan. Yung iwahig, pwedeng gumamit yan. Pero meron na kayong gawaan dyan at pwedeng gumamit muna ng mga preso para gawin yan. Now, let me go to another topic. Ang trabaho ng LTO is to issue the plate, issue the certificate of registration, at saka yung RFID. Tama po ba yan, sir? Secretary Galvante.
Yes, Your Honor. Tama po yon.
Mawala man yung plaka, pag binuksan yung RFID, malalaman natin kung kanino yon. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yan, apakagaling ng ginagawa ninyo ngayon. At dapat mapairal yan. Now, pumunta po tayo sa pinangyari nito para malaman ng lahat na nanonood at nakikinig kung bakit hindi nagawa ito. Noong 2012, 13, nagpagawa kayo sa anong pangalang korporasyon? Sulat yun. Sa Power Place Development Concepts Incorporated and
JKG
Neriam BV Goes. Ang pangalan niya PPI JKG. Nagpagawa. Andiyan ba si Undersecretary Lutilla? Yes, sir? Di ba nagpagawa kayo? Secretary Lutilla, you were there. Kayo ang head dyan noong 2012-2013. Very good project. Isa na lang ang plaka. Hanggang masira yung plaka o hanggang magpalit na luma, pwede yan. Secretary Lutilla, nakamute kayo. Please do not tempt me. I will hold you in contempt. So help me God. I will ask Mr. Karingal, Mr. Karingal.
Your Honor.
Mr. Karingal, mukhang ayaw na humarap nung boss mo dati. Rudy, Mr. Kimbo, there's no excuse why he will not appear. He said he was here. Make ready orders for contempt that he be arrested to appear here. Mr. Kimbo. Director Kimbo?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Lutilla is here, but due to technical problem, I think
There are many computers. You can go like Secretary Yebra and Secretary Galvante share one computer.
we're going to call him, sir.
Who are you gonna call?
Mr. Lutilla, sir.
Who is this speaking?
Director Herrera, sir.
Wow, bagong-bago. Director Herrera. Joy, congratulations. Hindi ka nagpapakilala. Now, you better get him because where is Rudy Kimbo? Joy.
To the restroom, sir.
All right, I understand. He has liquidity problems all the time. Anyway, to make a long story short, by the way, the motorcycle dealers may go now. Your excuse. Marvin Du,
Yes, Mr.
Janine
Chair.
Du. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr.
Maricris
Chair.
Lopez, Paulino Monteco, and Celso Namoro, you are excused, and that we shall work together to make sure that we fix up the problem. We do not want to intervene in your business, but you have to give us and the LTO and the Department of Trade a way upon which we can help the motorcycle riders. Patulungan natin sila. Dahil yan ay democratizing movement in our country. Yan ang prinsipyo ko. Dapat yung mahihirap, mabigyan ng more of law. Bakit tayo lang na kaya ang makakabili ng kotse? Dapat sa mga mahihirap, makakabili sila ng sarili ng sasakyan. Alright? So, I will dismiss you and I'll call you later at a later date for, what do you call, TWG. All right, now, let me go back now to Mr. Karingal. Or is Secretary Lutilla there already? Secretary Lutilla, are you there? I can see you. Push the button. I cannot hear you. Please speak. You're on mute. You're on mute. I can see you, but you're on mute. All right. Since you're not speaking, I'm a lawyer. I know the tricks of a lawyer as well. I do not do those tricks. But you're skirting dangerous ground. Mr. Karingal, I will now ask you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Karingal, you are Fortunato Karingal, correct?
Jaime Fortunato A. Karingal, Your Honor.
You have the same name as my father. And you were at that time Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. What year was that?
This was, I joined the DOTC in September 2013, Your Honor, until March 2016.
Now, I'd like to go to the bottom of why we stopped producing plates sometime between 2000 and I'm sorry, 2013 hanggang 2017. Alam niyo po yun, ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lutilla, I suggest you go to another computer. I know you can hear me. Go to another computer and connect. Now, during that time, you bidded it to a company called... Andiyan na yung kanina eh. Ba't ba kinuha nyo? PPI JKG. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was the nature of the contract?
It wasn't, as far as I recall, Your Honor, it was to supply
you with...
Yes.
to supply you with plates, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. It was a procurement for the supply of plates.
For four-wheel drives and for two-wheel drives. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, four-wheel cars and two-wheel cars. Iba yung four-wheel drive. Four-wheel cars, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were they able to complete the contract?
As far as I know, Your Honor, I have yet to check the complete records because I was just invited this morning. I think they were able to deliver. I think they were able to complete the contract, Your Honor.
You're wrong. I think you better go back to your records. You are dead wrong.
Okay.
Very, very wrong. Now, that's why I want Mr. Lotilla. The contract called for them to provide several million motorcycle plates. To be precise, 15 million motorcycle plates. Motorcycle and four-wheel drives and four-wheel cars. Right? And this is signed by Mr. Lotilla and PP representing the government and Mr. Christian S. Calalang. On February 21, 2014, the contract was signed by Secretary Abaya. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The preliminary contract was signed by Mr. Jose Perpetuo Lotilla, and it says the bid would cost 1,120,120 pesos, 1,989,846,820 in billion. At 380 pesos per pair. Would that be correct, sir?
Yes, sir. That would be correct.
If you do not know the answer, please say so. Because
yes,
I have the documents here and I don't want you to perjure yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're sure?
I will have to, that being said, Your Honor, I will have to check the records. I'm sorry.
But Mr. Lotilla is there. Hasn't he shown up yet? You know, I can prove this case without having to call you, quite frankly. Because I have all the documents already. Of the 15,204,000, 9,968,000 was supposed to be for plates at the cost of 1,196,162 pesos or 140 per piece. That is for motorcycles alone. Yung motor vehicles sa four wheels, number of plates to be produced is 5,236,439 pairs at the cost of 1,989,846 at the cost of 380 per pair. The total number of plates to be procured was 15,204,456. Daming 5 milyon dapat ang na-procure. Ang na-deliver ay 4 million lamang. Mr. Lotilla, can you communicate already? Please press the button. Ano po sa unmute? Unmute ba or mute? Mr. Lotilla, can you hear me?
Okay, sir.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
I'm okay now, sir. I'm using my phone. My apologies, sir. My apologies.
All right. Where there's a will, there's a way. You have heard my questions, correct?
Yes, sir.
I will ask Secretary Yebra also. Are you familiar with this contract? Have you reviewed these contracts?
Mr. Chair, we studied it.
Alright, so you are aware na hindi na kompleto itong kontratang ito.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are aware of kung ano po yung nangyari.
From your own point of view, tell me kung ano nangyari. Tell the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Briefly po, Your Honor, I remember there was a Supreme Court case that challenged the constitutionality of that contract. There was a notice of disallowance by the COA, and yun nga po, meron pong implementation problems. And I understand si LTO po would have the details on that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that's good. Generally correct. But in reality, the fact is, and I'm going to ask Secretary Lotilla, you continued the bid with Secretary Abaya in spite of the fact that you did not have sufficient appropriation. To be precise, your appropriation was only 187,293,000. Is that correct, sir?
My recollection is that is correct, sir. But
Thank you. Thank you. That precipitated a Supreme Court case. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And the Supreme Court in Jacomil versus Abaya said the court concludes that MVPSP, what does that mean? Most valuable player? What? Motor Vehicle License Plate Standardization Program did not follow, I repeat, hindi nyo sinunod yung timelines provided in Section 37 of Republic Act Number 9184 na nagsasaad na kailangan within 3 years, 3 months from the time na natapos ang bidding, dapat ay awarded na yung kontrata. Tama po ba yun, sir? Mr. Lotilla?
Sir, I think you're citing the first case, sir, because there was another...
I've only cited one case, sir. I've only cited one case.
Sir, what happened was the Supreme Court made a final decision upholding po the legality of the procurement, sir.
No, it did not. It appeared to have, the ponente is my favorite professor in UP. Did you go to UP, Mr. Lotilla?
Yes, sir.
Then you know Vivi Mendoza, correct?
Yes, sir.
He's one of the most respected justices of the Supreme Court, correct?
Yes, sir.
And teachers, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, actually he said, yung munang decision nila. Section 37, you did not follow Section 37 of RA number 9184. As earlier recited, the project did not have walang adequate appropriation. Walang bala, walang pera, walang datong. Alright? Why pera naka-appropriate? At ang nakalagay dyan, when its procurement was commenced on February 20, 2013. Isa-isayin ko yan. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Hindi kayo pwedeng bumili kung wala kayong appropriation. Tama po ba yan?
Sir.
Don't worry, I'll be fair. I'll be fair. Don't worry. I'm just leading up to something.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Tama po yun, di ba? Pareho tayo abogado. Hindi ka pwedeng bumili kung wala kang appropriation.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Contrary to the provisions of Section 5A, 7 and 20 of RA number 9184, the DOTC and the LTO likewise failed to secure the multi-year obligations authority before the start of the procurement process. Wala kayong authorization. Even though yung MVPSP, multi-vehicle PSP, Motor Vehicle Standardization Program is a multi-year program involving multi-year contract. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, sir, at the time.
I'm just citing the Supreme Court decision. Don't worry, sir. I will not lie. All these irregularities tainted, sabi ni Justice Mendoza, medyo may tama sa leeg yung earlier procurement process and rendered it null and void. Ito na sinabi niya. Tama po ba yan? Binasa niyo sigurado ito eh.
Yes, sir.
Tapos tinuloy niya. Sa umpisa pa lamang, however, ang sabi ng court, ilang beses na ang present petition has been rendered moot and academic. Ano ibig niyo sabihin ng moot and academic? Nalampasan na pwede nang pairalin dahil moot and academic. Pwede nang payagan. Tama ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Oh. By the appropriation, ito na, nagkaroon bigla ng appropriation for the full amount of the project fund in GAA, General Appropriations Act 2014. Said appropriation cured whatever defect the process had. I think Justice Mendoza was engaging in judicial statesmanship. Kapagkat kung wala yan, mawawalan ng plaka ang tao. Kapalagay nyo, tama yan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pero, tama kayo kanina. Sabi nyo, ang Supreme Court nagdesisyon na dyan. Pero may buntot yung sinabi ni Justice Mendoza. Talagang magaling na abogado. Ang sabi niya, as to whether the responsible public officials, yung mga gumawa nitong mga opisyales, should be held accountable, dapat managot sa mga irregularidad ng pagbili nitong MVPSP, Motor Vehicle Plate Standardization Program. Ang sabi ng husgado na deems that hindi sila ang proper forum. Dahil sa Supreme Court, question of law na lang. And question of law, di ba? Pero to resolve the issue as it is not a trier of facts, hindi sila parang magiging mababang husgado na kumukuha ng ebidensya ng mga bagay-bagay na naganap sa baba. And it cannot receive new evidence from the parties to aid it in the prompt resolution of the issue. Hindi sila pwedeng kumuha ng ebidensya para ma-resolve yan. Kailangan dapat dumaan tayo sa bababang hukuman. Yung mga pagkaintindi nyo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pareho tayo. Sa madaling sabi, lusot kayo na pinayagan, pero malinaw na nagbid kayo ng walang karapatan magbid, walang base sa batas magbid, at pagkatapos noon ay pinapanalo kayo ni Justice Mendoza dahil nga ang pressure napakalakas na kailangan mabigyan ng plaka ang tao. Now, bakit napakalakas ang loob nyo bumili na wala naman kayong pera? Walang appropriation. Bago umabot sa Korte Suprema, namili kayo, alam nyo, pare-pareho tayong abogado, UP kunyari, iba sa atin na UUP, pero sa UP, tinuturuan tayo ng dapat na gawin na batas. Ang appropriation lamang yan ay 187 million. Ang halaga ng bibilihin nyo ay maabot ng 3.8 billion. Ang pera lang nakalaan ay 187 million. Tinuloy nyo pa rin. Alam nyo, bawal yan. Bakit nyo tinuloy?
Sir, with your indulgence, sir, I could submit a memorandum for your consideration, Your Honor.
I'm asking you a question. You can submit the memorandum later. Sagutin nyo muna yan. Bakit nyo tinuloy? Dahil may buntot yung tanong ko.
Sir, this all hinges kasi po on a technical provision regarding the requirement for the Mayowa. So, yun po ang basis niyan. Kaya po tinuloy yung bidding.
Di ba nakalagay sa Section 21 ng GAA Pagka kayo kumontract ng multi-year, ibig sabihin, iba-ibang taon na proyekto, sa implementasyon yan, ng multi-year projects na hindi nakalagay ang total cost, hindi natin malalaman. Multi-year, di ba? Bureaus and offices shall request the DBM for the issuance of a multi-year obligational authority, the obligation to be incurred in any given year shall in no case exceed the allotment released for the purpose during the year. You're familiar with this rule, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Sinunod nyo ba yan?
Sir, it was precisely because, sir, of the technical question, sir, of when the Mayowa should be obtained, sir. That is why, sir, I'm begging your indulgence, sir, if we can submit the legal position.
I will get your position later. We'll put that in order, but I will tell you, 15 August 2013, the DBM informed the DOTC that you should have first secured a multi-year obligation authority. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Oh, binigyan kayo. Anong ginawa nyo? Tinira pa rin. Hindi po ba?
Yes, sir.
So mali kayo doon. Hanggang umabot na tayo doon sa Jacomine versus Sabaya. At pagkatapos, on January 23, 2014, the Department of Justice issued a resolution finding that the conflict has been resolved by the enactment of GAA 2014 na pinagbasihan naman ni Justice Mendoza. Pero may buntot nga eh. Ang sabi, kailangan managot yung nagpagawa niyan. I agree with Justice Mendoza. Yan ang pinag-uusapan dito. Kailangan managot. Bakit? Sandamakmak na sakit ng ulo ang nangyari dyan sakat for the next 3 years or 4 years, hindi nakapag-issue ng plaka ang LTO. Tama po ba yan, Secretary Yebra? Nakamute ka, Secretary Yebra. Nakamute ka pa rin, Rainier. Pinatay mo yung sarili mo doon. Pinatay mo yung video mo. Okay, you're back. Go ahead.
Tama po kayo, Mr. Chair, for a time, nagkaroon po ng gap sa issuance ng plea.
Can you speak to the microphone because magulo eh.
Tama po kayo.
Nawala ka. Tama kami na sinasabi namin at talagang kahit na sino pagpapawisan because although sinabi ng Korte Suprema, mutin academic, hindi sinabing tama ha? Hindi sinabing mali, hindi sinabing tama. Para to be fair, ang sabi niya, kahit na mutin academic yan, kailangan magbayad ng accountability yung mga nagpatupad nitong ginawa nila na bumili ng walang appropriation. Tama po ba yun? Nawawala yung nag-mute kayo. Niloloko nyo ako, tiga Sambeda kayo, niloloko nyo yung tiga UP. Biro lang yan ha. Panay mga tiga Sambeda itong tao ko rito, kaya alam na alam nila yung stroke mo. Sige. Sa mga tweet, mali pa rin. Dapat managot. Yes or no? Put your finger up. Thumbs up. Yes or no? Thumbs up means yes. Yes. Yes.
If I may, sir, Steve Pastor po from the Department of Transportation. Yusek Yebra is just transferring to a different...
I know, I can see it now. I think it's okay. Yusek, Rainier, go ahead. Wala ka pa rin mute. Wala pa rin. Rainier, pindutin mo yung mute button. Wala pa rin. Baka sa susunod na hearing, dali mo yung apo mo.
Mr. Chair, Yusek Yebra will use my device po.
Yun pala eh. Thank you, Mark.
Kabila.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Opo. Mr. Chair, so talagang we really apologize. Talagang hindi pa namin nalaasahan ito.
Don't need to apologize. I understand. Alam ko naman, hindi ako niloloko eh.
Opo. Yeah, tama. To answer your question, Mr. Chair, tama po kayo na for a time, nagkaroon po ng problema dun sa release ng plaka following that controversy involving yung kontrata po. Yeah, and yung tama po yung sinabi nyo dun sa Hacomil and Abaya versus Abaya, saka yung Tambunting case po, both decided by the Supreme Courts.
So tama na dapat managot talaga kahit namutin academic, kailangan pa rin managot yung mga nagpabid na walang pera.
Opo, nakalagay po yun sa decision, Mr. Chair. Sinabi po yun ni Justice, yung ponente po.
Tama po yan. According to the COA, ang persons liable according to COA are the following. Emilio Aguinaldo Abaya, kaibigan ko pa naman ito, Secretary ng DOTC. Are you aware of this, COA? Ito yung notice of disallowance ng COA. Mr. Lotilla.
Yes, sir.
Rainier Ebra. Jose Emilio Aguinaldo Abaya. Jose approved BAC resolution or recommendation of award of contract and approved contract agreement. 2. Jose Perpetuo Lotilla, Undersecretary for Legal Affairs, DOCC BAC Chairman. Ang BAC Chairman. Ang BAC yun na nagbibiding. Signatory siya sa BAC resolution na recommendong award of contract. Signatory siya sa kontrata recommending the approval signed certification that the contract is in accordance with all applicable laws and regulations and approved legal opinion on advance payment. Yung huli, mali talaga yun. Do you agree, Secretary Yebra? Ang sinasabi rin ng COA. Siya lahat ang pumirma, pero ang sinacertify niya, lahat ng pagpirma niya is in accordance with all applicable laws. Alam natin, hindi, sinunod. Dahil dapat meron kang sapat na appropriation at saka yung regulation and approved legal opinion on advance payment. Tama po ba yun, Secretary Yebra?
Tama po, Mr. Chair. I cannot dispute yung findings po ni COA.
Thank you po. Jaime Fortunato A. Caringal, Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs, DOTC, recommended the approval of the certification that the contract is in accordance with all applicable laws and regulations and signed the legal opinion on advance payment. Tapos si Juliano Bucayan Jr., BAC Alternative Vice Chairman, signed as Alternative Vice Chairman of BAC. Sige, next. Alfonso V. Tan Jr., Assistant Secretary. Patawag natin ito, Rudy, lahat sa susunod na hearing, ha?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. 4 are here.
Secretary, BAC member. Signed as BAC member. Rene K. Limcauco, BAC Vice Chairman. Julianito Bucayan, Alternate Vice Chairman, signed as Alternate Vice Chairman. Sheila Ildefonso D. Patdu Jr., tiga-Tarlac siguro ito, signed as member of BAC recommending the award. Asuncion S. Baningas, Chief Accountant, certification of the availability of cash. Availability of cash, wala kayong pera noon. 187 million lang ang pera nyo. Ha? Andiyan. Tatanungin ko siya. Asuncion, pasensya ka na. Tatanungin kita dyan. Baka ibang bilang mo. Baka dollar yung binilang mo. Ha? Tapos Sheila Rodriguez, andiyan rin. Pre-audit of disbursement. Voucher. Tapos yung payee, PPI, JKG Philippines. Lahat sila tumanggap ng pera, nabayaran sila, pero sa totoo lang, ay bawal na bawal yan. Yan ang sabi ng COA. Hindi sinabi ni Senator Gordon yan, sinabi ng COA yan, at sinabi ni Vivi Mendoza, the Honorable Justice of the Supreme Court, na dapat managot itong mga taong ito. On that issue, you are indeed going to have to be liable for what has been done for making a bid na wala kayong pera. Now, lampasan natin ngayon yan. Dahil dyan, nagkaroon ng kaso ng matagal. Ilang taon yon? Mga 2 taon, nilitis ang kaso na yan. At dahil dyan, hindi nakagawa ng plaka. Tama ba yon, Secretary Yebra?
Yes, Mr. Chair, for may gap po nung time na yun.
Nagkaroon ng gap, hindi nakagawa ng plaka ang gobyerno. Kaya nakita nyo, ang sinasabi ng mga tao kanina, kahit ano yung sinabi doon sa isang plaka? Hindi, yung baluktot ang gobyerno. Baluktot na daan, sabi niya gano'n. Republic of no plate, pinayagan sila in violation of law. Nagagawa sila ng sariling plaka. Tama po ba yun, Undersecretary Yebra? Hindi ka pwede gumawa ng plaka. Tanayin ko na lang yung pulis, huhulihin po ba yung mga ganyang motor o kotse, Alex Tagum, General Tagum, kung ang plaka nila ay baluktot na Republika o yung plaka na
yes, sir. Huliin po ng Highway Patrol Group yan, sir, because unauthorized po, sir, yung plaka.
Unauthorized yung plaka. So talaga malaking sakit ng ulo. Can you just mute yung iba para marinig ko siya? Sa madaling sabi, naiipit ang taong bayan, mag-re-risk na lang sila na gamitin yung plaka nila, yung motorsiklo nila. Dahil sabi ng spokesman ninyo, ano pangalan ng spokesman kanina? Jason Salvador, patawag mo nga yun, Director General. Ang sabi niya ay pinayagan na sila kahit anong ilagay nilang plaka. Tama ba yun? Narinig natin pare-pareho yun, di ba? Do you confirm that, Secretary? I can repeat what he said. Can you repeat that, please? Sa TV. Yung sinabi niya na dahil walang plaka, pwede na kayong gumawa ng sarili niyong plaka. Pakibilis lang. So, umpisa yun. Filon, that's the kind of government at that time that appears to have happened, correct? Yung sinasabi ng Juan. Sige, go ahead.
Available. Kaya bahala ka na muna sa plaka ng iyong sasakyan.
Binibigyan natin silang pahintulot na temporary gumawa ng plaka nila na sa disenyo at hugis ng accepted natin.
Stop. Justice Yebra, justice ka na ngayon. Do you agree with that gentleman who said, binibigyan natin silang pahintulot na gumawa ng design? Go Sambeda fight. 777. Pwede yun?
Mr. Chair, as far as I know po, hindi po allowed yun ng batas.
Kahit na champion tayo pareho, Ateneo Sambeda champion. Sambeda champions, 111. Ateneo champion, UAAP, 111. Pwede yun?
Pagkakaalam ko po, Mr. Chair, hindi po pwede yun under law.
Wala.
Mr. Chair.
All right. Yes, I can hear you.
Opo, sa pagkakaalam ko po at pagkakaintindi ko po yung simple understanding ko po ng batas, hindi po pwede yun.
So yung sinabi ng spokesman ng DOTR or LTO, maling-mali yun. At dapat managot rin yun. Tama po ba yan?
It appears so, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Para kasi para kasi si Vice President Pelayos nung araw, si Kwan ba yun? Si Senator Jokno. Yeah. Now, anyway, to make a long story short, let me just collect my thoughts. Nagkaroon ng hiatus o bakat na hindi magkaroon ng plaka ang tao. Pumasok ngayon ang bagong administrasyon. At ito ngayon ang nangyari. I-forward natin sa taon 2017 ba? Ito. Nakalagay dito, July, PPI JKG dominated the LTO contract during the Aquino administration. But when the Duterte administration came in, Trojan dominated LTO bidding year by year. Secretary Galvante, totoo po ba ito?
Sila po ang, Your Honor, ang among those who participated, sila po ang napili through the bidding.
Nanalo.
At sila ang nanalo po. At sila ang nag-supply ng... Yes, Your Honor.
Wala pong masama doon kung isusupply ng matino. Mamaya may sasabihin ako sa inyo na nabaluktot siya dahil may nagkiklaim na hindi nila pwedeng gawin basta-basta yan. Di po ba? July 1, 2016, December 31, Trojan Computer Force Manufacturing Corporation, nagawa sila ng Manufacturing Corporation, and J.H. Tonjis is GmbH Venture on July 27. Yan ang kanilang ginawa. Sa totoo lang, binisita ng isang media yan at wala silang nakitang pabrika doon. Tama po ba yan? Wala silang nakitang pabrika doon. On 2018, Trojan Computer Force Manufacturing Corporation, ulit yan. Tapos 2019, panay Trojan ito. Trojan ang nanalo hanggang 2020. Ano po? Pero may problema. Pag may magpa-participate ng bid, tatanungin ko lang kayo, Secretary Galvante, hindi pwedeng makasali sa bid. Dahil meron silang tinatawag na proprietary rights doon sa inimbento nila na order management system para nalalaman nila kung ano mga plaka ang nilalabas nila. Sabihin sa inyo, Trojan essentially monopolized the plate production. Trojan owns the LTO order management system, a database containing information about plates. Paano naman mangyari na ang Trojan ang may-ari ng LTO order management system? Paano nangyari yan? Sir. Babalikan ko mamaya. Ba't ang lakas ng dito sa una? Secretary Galvante?
Your Honor, sa pagkakalam ko po, no, sila yung manalo, limited po sa yung kontrata nila doon sa una, doon sa unang ipinanalo nila, at yung succeeding supply is mapipili po ang mag-susupply nun again to the bidding.
Pero hindi mananalo yung bidding because because nakalagay dito, may sulat sa inyo ang may-ari ng Trojan, may sulat siya kay Martin Heinrich na Netherlands ito. Ang sabi niya, this is in response to your letter dated 3 February 2020. We would like to inform you of the following facts and circumstances. Trojan Computer Force Manufacturing Corporation and J.H. Tonjes East GmbH and Company KG Joint Ventures is the exclusive, sarili nila, walang iba, distributor of all goods and services Tonjes will supply for use in the Philippines. PPI JKG is a direct competitor of the joint venture on the contracts for supply and delivery of goods to LTO. Ibig sabihin yan, walang makakapasok kung hindi sila ay papayagan ng Trojan at hindi pumapayag ang Trojan. Ang terms of reference of the system can be exclusively complied only by Trojan. Sarili-sarili nila. Hawak nila kayong lahat sa LTO Walang competitive bidding therefore na lumalabas at ang nangyari negotiated procurement, which exception now becomes the general rule. Naging executive bidding, naging negotiated procurement. Yan ang nangyayari. So, lumalabas, Trojan also owns the DIGI-SIG, an essential feature of new plates. Trojan also provided LTO's plate making factory and machinery doon sa inyong lote. Ngayon, mahihirapan ang gobyerno o sino mamamayan para yung dating contractor na PPI JKG na ginawa noong June 2012 or 2013 para mag-comply sila doon sa kanilang hindi nagawa nung naipit sila ng Korte Suprema. Kahit na mag-supply sila ngayon, haharangin ng Trojan dahil sasabihin niya, di kayo pwede mag-supply, sa amin dapat ibigay yan dahil ito ay nakalagay sa kontrata namin. Kami ang exclusive distributor. Tama po ba yun ang problema kaya tayo walang plaka?
Your Honor, can I ask that? Your Honor.
Sir? Yes, sir? Go ahead, Secretary Galvante.
Can I ask the Executive Director of LTO to explain in my behalf, Your Honor?
Well, normally I won't. Out of respect, okay, I will allow you. And by the way, I warn you, I have heard so many rumors, hearsay yan, about your Executive Director. Sige, pakilala nyo. Yan ba si Vera Cruz? Attorney Vera Cruz? Okay, pisinin mo yung mo. Unmute. Ano sagot mo doon sa tanong ko kay Secretary Galvante? Wala kang, lumipat ka. Ano ba yung nilagay niya na doon? Yung device.
Yung QR code.
Yung nilagay device ay QR code. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, may I clarify?
Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Answer.
JKG supply plates are being produced in our plant, Your Honor.
I know.
The problem only was caused by the digital signature, which you mentioned, the DIGSIG. And this DIGSIG needs to satisfy the ISO requirements before we can process that in our OMS, order management system. But we have already resolved that issue, Your Honor, and that the plates supplied by PPI JKG are now being produced by the plant.
Who owns that? The government?
The LTO, Your Honor.
Huh?
The LTO.
How did that happen? Binayaran kayo o binili nyo?
Yes. It should be transferred to us once the contract has
been... It should be transferred to... I know, LTO should own it.
Yes,
may ugali kayo dyan na binibigay nyo sa private. Katulad ng Mirdu. Ngayon naman dito kay Trojan. Alam mo ba yung istorya ng Trojan horse? Pinasok kayo ng Trojan horse tapos kinain nila lahat yung tao sa loob ng Greece. Trojan yan. Anong ginawa nyo? Paano nyo nakuha? Binayaran nyo?
It was part of the terms of reference, Your Honor, that the OMS should be turned over to the Land Transportation Office.
When was that terms of reference? Wala ba tayo, no?
Yes, we have a copy of the terms of reference, Your Honor. And what is needed actually is just the compliance of the DIGSIG of another supplier, no, in accordance with the ISO requirement. Pag meron na po sila, they comply with that, they can they can enter the OMS of the LTO.
If that is the case, Mr. Vera Cruz, bakit nagtagal yung plaka ng matagal? Alam kong pwede niyang lusutan yan. O, transfer mo na para hindi na tayo maipit. Nagtagal yan dahil talagang pinakiusapan nyo, baka nagbanik-luhod na kayo sa kanila, na kung maaari, ibigay nyo na sa amin. Nakalagay dito, request for 2D DIG SIG QR. QR code yan. Address to J.H. Tonje, pirma ito ni Mr. Sigen ng Puch UTSCH. After local evaluation, nalapag-alaman namin na ang LTO is utilizing your non-public system to process the 2D codes of their MV plates. Due to the fact that they're utilizing this closed or proprietary Tonjes Trojan system, we kindly ask you to provide us the aforementioned digital signature QR code para sila rin makapag-participate yung youths, yung UTSCH. The GIG SIG is proprietarily owned by Trojan, so any supplier must get permission from Trojan first. Di kumikita sila ng gusto. Hindi LTO kumikita. Tama ba yan?
Your Honor, with regard to, that is their...
Tama ba yun ang tanong ko?
We are not...
Sagutin mo muna yung tanong ko.
Yes,
bawat
Your Honor,
gumamit ng kanila, babayad sa kanila. Tama?
Yes, Your Honor. Because in the Uts case, Your Honor, in the Uts case, actually, the contract was awarded to them.
I know, but they have to pay. In other words, bawat gumamit niya ngayon, meron silang babayaran na toll. Kaya nagtagal, ayaw magbayad ng toll ng iba, ayaw mag-participate dahil may sariling manok ang LTO. Manok mo ba yon?
I beg your Honor, I beg your indulgence that we would like to explain the matter. No, wala pong manok ang Land Transportation Office po.
Hindi ba totoo na yung PPI nagbabayad rin kay Trojan para mahabol yung plaka na 3 taon na wala?
Your Honor,
handa ka sa sagot mo, may papel ako dyan.
Yes, Your Honor, we learned later that they entered into a business transaction, and then but we are not requiring the payment of a supplier to another supplier just to have a dig sig, because they need only to comply the dig sig or the ISO requirements of our OMS.
That is the biggest BS I ever heard. You know what BS means? Bachelor of Science. Hindi bullshit. Bachelor of Science in kalokohan. Ang sinasabi mo sa akin ay pwede nilang ibigay pero hindi nga nila binigay. And you know, in law, are you a lawyer, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have delayed the public. And when you delay the public and it causes damage to the public or other people, you are liable under Section 3E Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, causing any undue injury to any party, meaning yung mga motorsiklo owner, including the government, kasama kayo, or giving any private party any unwarranted benefit, advantage, or preference in the discharge of the official administration or judicial functions through manifest partiality, evident bad faith, or gross inexcusable negligence. This provision shall apply to officers and employees of officers or government corporations charged with the grant of licenses or permits or other concessions. Para maintindihan ng mga nakikinig sa atin, mga kababayan natin, Section 3E, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices. Gumagawa ka ng paraan para magkaroon at masaktan ang sino man tao, kasama na ang gobyerno or pinagbibigyan mo ang sino man pribadong tao na walang katwiran na benepisyo at advantage o mauna sila sa pagdidischarge ng official, administrative, or judicial functions through manifest partiality. Kayo yon, yung LTO. Kayo nagbibigay ng preference dyan. Evident bad faith or gross inexcusable negligence. This provision shall apply, pakinggan mo ito, to officers, ikaw yon, and employees of offices or government corporations charged with the grant of licenses or permits or other concessions. You cannot give it to a private entity just as ito tinatawag natin Miss Merdo, nagde-delegate kayo ng wala kayong karapatan mag-delegate ng authority. You're a lawyer, you should understand that. Kaya natagalan, na-damage ang tao, narinig mo yung TV, kaliwat kanan ang angal ng tao, pero pa yung namatay, na binaril. Ngayon, sabihin ko sa inyo ngayon, dahil dyan, ilan na walang buwis sa tao, sa taong bayan. Daming damage. Ilan ang taong napagnakawan ng riding in tandem dahil wala silang plaka. Ilan ang taong napatay ng riding in tandem dahil wala silang plaka. Ilan ang motorsiklo nilakaw na hindi na makuha dahil wala silang plaka. 7,067 murders from January 1, 2016 to 2021. Frustrated murder, 1,788. Homicide, 410. Frustrated homicide, 388. Robbery, 5,286. Theft, 1,509. Motorcycle carnapping, 1,144. Rape, 147. Yan ang pinagmulan ng inyong ginawa na binigay nyo sa pribado na sila pa ang lumalabas na may-ari ng karapatan ng gobyerno na talagang ma-regulate ang land transportation ng ating bansa. Kaya tayo may LTO para i-regulate nyo yan. Hindi nyo ginawa ang inyong tungkulin. At pinayagan nyo yung malalaki na lamunin ang inyong mga tungkulin sa bayan. Kaya lahat kayo ay liable. Alright? I think I've said enough.
Yes,
I think we can prove this to any court now.
Yes.
It's really tragic. Lahat ng bayan natin, gusto nyo sabihin ko, tanongin ko na nga si Justice Secretary Lutilla, bakit ang lakas ng loob nyo magpabid nang wala kayong pera?
Sir.
Bakit ang lakas ng loob nyo gumawa na ibibigay nyo yung function ng LTO sa mga taong hindi dapat bigyan para sila ay magkaroon ng kita? Meron ba kayong party dyan? Ha? Siguro may party kayo dyan. In the words, hindi ko na i-quote yung ating presidente. Pag nagagalit, nag-PPI. Hindi ko na gagawin yun. Private, public investigation na lang ang ibig sabihin niya ngayon. Bakit yung, sagutin mo nga ako, Secretary Lutilla, ba't ang lakas ng loob ninyo?
Sir?
Ha? Wala kayong pera? Alam mo, abogado ka? Payups ka pa? Tapos papayagan mo, magbidding ka na walang pera? Napaka-basic niyan. Tapos magmamalaki nyo sa akin yung decision. Tapos hindi, kung hindi naman marunong kami dito, hindi makikita namin, you are liable.
Sir,
you are liable.
With respect, sir, we will submit our memorandum, sir.
You can submit all you want. This is the Blue Ribbon investigation. We are charged to making a finding of malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance. And you're all covered by that. At aabot to sa lahat at susundan natin ito. This is a country na nakikita ko. Kailan nangyari ito? 2013. Kailan na election ng presidential noon? 2016. Hindi kaya paghahandaan na magkaroon ng pera yung mga kandidato? Katulad nung nangyari rin noong 2015 or 2014, yung sa Dembaksya, ang lalaki ng perang ginastos ng gobyerno para mapagbigyan hanggang sa magkasakit yung mga tao. At ngayon, nahihirapan tayo kumuha ng Pfizer. Hindi naman nagkamali yung Sanofi. Ang nagkamali dyan, sila Presida Acosta. Pero mali pa rin yung Sanofi dahil inuto-uto nila at hinutot nila na makakuha sila ng bilyon-bilyon para makuha yung Dengvaxa na dapat hindi pamigay. At hindi pa nila tinuruan kung paano gagawin. Kaya ngayon, nahihirapan tayo. Ang dami nating kalokohan. Mga helicopter na binili natin na hindi lumilipad. 50 yan. 2004, fertilizer fund scam, 728 million. 2008, Euro Generals, 6.9 million. 2013, PDAP scam, Sina Napoles. 2015, Talimbala scandal. 2016, Dengvaxa. 2016, yung Bureau of Immigration, tumaga ng 50 million. Yun lamang nahuli ko pero mas malaki yan. Sunod-sunod yan, napakarami. Pati drugs, napakarami. Kailan tayo titigil, mga kapatid? Pinapatay na halos araw-araw mga tao natin. Ano latest sa riding in tandem? Meron naman pinatay na Vice Mayor doon sa Sibugay. General Sinas, you're aware of that, sir?
Yes, sir. We are aware of the incident, sir. And it's been investigated, sir, and identify na po yung gun for hire muna, sir, na na naging suspect po, sir, at pinapalo up na po namin, sir.
Sabihin ko lang mo sa inyo, we do our homework here.
Yes, sir.
Magmula ng February 18, nang tayo huling mag-imbestiga, 15 katao na ang nadagdag sa mga biktima ng riding in tandem ayon sa news monitoring ng aming team dito sa Blue Ribbon. Kami lang yan.
Yes, sir.
Wala pa sa inyo yan. Kami lang yan. So March 2, 2021, ito lumalabas. January 1 to March 1, 84 ang victim count. 66 ang patay. Motorcycle yan. Injured 16. 2 unhurt. Ayan. At kailangan ibangon naman natin ang bayan natin. Hindi ko na dapat pakialaman ito pero hindi ko mapigil ang aking kalooban. Kalahin nyo yung mga tao natin, nagbabarilan. Kilala ko yung mga general dyan. Paano nagbabarilan yung Drug Enforcement Agency natin at saka yung mga kapulisan? Kapideya. Dapat yan talagang masolve sa lalong madaling panahon. Patay ang mga pulis natin, patay yung PIDEA. Yan ang nangyayari sa bansa natin. Kung hindi tayo mag-i-enforce, kung hindi tayo mag-i-investigate ng ganito, alam niyo yung mga tao, sumusulat pa sa akin kung minsan nakakasakit. Imbestiga kayo ng imbestiga, wala naman nangyayari. Hindi kami ang magpapairal. Ang magpapairal ang ehekutibo. Kinukuha lang namin ang mga kasalanan ng mga nasa gobyerno para ibigay namin sa ehekutibo, sa Department of Justice, sa kapulisan, at lahat para i-file ang mga kaso. General Sinas, you're about to retire. Retire with glory, with respect. Dapat mahuli natin. Wala pa tayo nahuhuli. Ang tagal na. Wala pa tayo nahuhuli dyan sa mga riding in tandem magmula ng January. Pati batanda na nagtitinda sa tindahan, binaril. Diyan tayo nagsimula dito. Now, sipin nyo, mag-i-hearing tayo ulit, March 18. Dahil pinasa naman sa akin ngayon, itong malaking project ninyo na pinangakuan nyo ilang mga tao na magpagawa ng private vehicle inspection system. Di ba? At ngayon, pati presidente napapaya dahil pinigil niya muna. Pero sabi nila ng mga senador, meron pang ibang mga dapat malaman dyan na dapat mabuklat. Ayoko sana mag-iimbestiga. Hirap sa buhay ko mag-iimbestiga, napupuyat kami. Puyat ang mga tao ko. Kaya kailangan, malaman ninyo, we will not stop. Lahat ng mga tao ko are committed. At kahit na kung magkamisa nabubulyawan ko, magagaling sila. May malasakit sila. May kusang loob sila. Kayo, meron? Ibigay nyo, halatang-halata kayo. Ibibigay nyo doon sa lintik na Trojan, yung kanilang solo-solo nila lahat na dadaan sa kanila, magbabayad, hindi pupunta sa gobyerno. Ibibigay nyo sa doon sa Mirdo, sila ang kukuha ng LTO. Sino ang kawawa? Yung barangay, yung mga motorsiklo, kawawa. So, Director General Rudy Kimbo,
Yes, sir.
medyo tumataas ang blood pressure ko ng konti dito. Konting pasensya. Pero sabihin ko sa inyo, we will have another hearing on March 18 at 1 p.m. Anong araw yan?
Thursday, Mr. Chair. Thursday.
Natin hanggang... So now, I will now... alam nyo, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo. Nagpapasalamat naman ako sa Panginoon Diyos. Because of our hearings, nakakuha na ng OR, CR, yung ating mga tao. Meron akong tao dito. Tatawain ko lang. Hindi ko na tatawagin. Papakita pangalan. Baka habulin pa kayo. Tatanungin ko lang kung gaano katindi itong ginagawa ninyo. Ang pangalan niya ay si Ami. Ha? Ami, namili ka ng motorsiklo. Ang trabaho mo ay janitor.
Yes, sir.
Janitor ka, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ilan ang anak mo?
Isa po, sir.
Isa. Anong binigay sa'yo nung binili mo yung motorsiklo mo? Ano ka bang CR?
Xerox lang po, sir.
Ha?
Xerox po, sir.
Xerox copy lang ang binigay ninyo Secretary Calvante. That is illegal. Sinasabi ko pa ulit-ulit para yung nakikinig ng mga motorsiklo, alam nila, Xerox copy, or hindi talaga papayagan. Alam na mga kapulisan yan. Anong binigay sa'yo? Promissory note? Ano?
Yes, sir. Waiver, sir.
Waiver. Ano nakalagay sa waiver? Can you help her? Basahin nyo nga rito. This shows, saan na? Nakalagay dito, waiver. Yun lang ang binigay sa kanya. Yamaha. Okay? I understand that the unit brought is not yet registered with LTO. At pinapin naman sa kanya na inspection niya yung above-mentioned motorcycle and made all the necessary efficiency test ride to check and confirm the unit is in good standing. Further, I understand that the unit bought hindi nakarehistro sa LTO, that as such, the said unit cannot be used yet in the road until and unless the same is registered with LTO. Ang ganda ng pabalat bunga. Furthermore, I am fully aware that trade is only selling the motorcycle unit and is not responsible in its registration, as I acknowledge at the registration of my purchase unit is my sole and own responsibility. However, I have the option to let Motor Trade register the unit to LTO for my own convenience. This is what you call an addition contract. Nung pinirma mo ba ito, naintindihan mo lahat sa sinasabi dito? Ano?
Hindi po lahat, sir.
Hindi lahat. Hindi mo naintindihan.
Yes, sir.
Hanggang ngayon, wala kang certificate of registration. Hindi ka nabigyan ng plaka.
Hindi po. Hindi po, sir.
Nagbayad ka ba para sa plaka?
Yes, sir.
So nagbayad ng plaka ang tao. Talungin ko kayo, Secretary Calvante, Yusek Yebra, lahat kayo dyan. Hindi ba swindling ang ginagawa nyo? Pinagbabayad nyo yung tao ng plaka tapos hindi nyo binibigyan ng plaka? Hindi ba estafa yan? Secretary Yebra, go some better fight.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
How can you say, sisingilin niyo yung tao? Saan napunta yung perang yan? Kung nagbayad tayo, mag-iiba ko ng kung ano eh. Di ba? Binuli sa bayan, binigay ba sa treasury yan? Wala naman resibo yung tao na binigay yung pera sa mga tao? You're selling non-existent plates. Non-existing plates. Can you imagine that? You're taking advantage. What do you say? Attorney Acosta, Attorney Castello.
Sir, it's estafa, sir, swindling. They should be held liable criminally, sir.
That's correct. Kaya gusto ko, matapos na yan, ayusin nyo. Because itong tao ito, janitress lang siya. Hindi ko nilalang, pagaling na janitress siya. Pero kahit na magaling siya sa trabaho niya, para makapasok siya ng milisya, pero pwede siyang harangin at lahat yan. This is trickery, chicanery, treachery, and fraud, plain and simple. On that note, this hearing is now suspended, and I just wanted to make sure na marinig nyo ang complaint ng isang tao. And right now, lahat ng mga motorcycle riders ay nag-organize sila at sila nadoble pa ang bayad niya sa plaka. Ito sila sa Ana, nadoble ba ang bayad mo sa plaka, Ana? I cannot hear.
Hindi pa po, sir.
Pero doble ang binayad mo sa plaka.
Ay, hindi pa po ako, sir,
I'm sorry, I got confused. In 2013, let me ask, para makompleto ko ito. In 2013, dahil hindi nagawa yung plaka, bakit may echo? In 2013, hindi nagawa yung plaka, Secretary Galvante at Secretary Castello at saka Secretary Lotilla and Yebra. Siningil nyo sila. Wala silang plaka para nakarehistro. Wala kayong binigay na certificate of registration. Kung meron man, swerte siya. Ngayon, magbabago tayo ng plaka. Siningil na naman ninyo sila. Wala pa rin plaka. Doble na yan. Doble singil na. Yung sinasabi ko yan, totoo, mapapatunayan ko yan. Sapagkat yung una, green ang plates noong 2012, green. Nung nagbago tayo ng plaka, black na ang plaka. I don't know, Secretary Galvante, if you know, are part of this, I hope not, or your people are doing something behind your back. Sir?
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. Sa pagkakaalam ko po, kung hindi man sila nabigyan ng plaka noon, kung sakaling maibigay na yung plaka sa kanila, wala silang dadagdag na bayad. At lahat pong binabayaran at may resibo, lahat po yan, forward po lahat yan sa Bureau of Treasury. Wala pong nare-retain sa LTO kahit na isang kusing.
I'm aware of that. Pero yung tumatanggap, hindi nyo alam kung binibigay sa inyo, binubulsa niya, tumira pa ng pangalawang beses. 2 beses nagbayad na. Kailan matatanggap ang black and white plates? Para makumpleto na. Dahil sabi nyo, binayaran nyo na yung Trojan, pumayag na sila.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Kanina po, in-explain ko nga po na sa ngayon, yung lumalabas na sa current year, 2021, ginagawa na rin po natin yung plaka para hindi po sila sisingilin na nakatulad nung dati na kahit na walang plaka.
I hate to ask this question. There was a 3.8 billion peso appropriation. 3 billion, 800 milyon pera ang hinabol. Actually, nung nagbayad sila pagkatapos magkaroon ng appropriation, nagkontrata sila, mali rin yun. Pero ang tanong ko ngayon, saan napunta lahat yung pera ng 3.8 billion? Mula sa unang kontrata. Yun ang gusto ko malaman, and I'd like COA to check that right away for the next hearing. Can you issue the subpoena duces tecum, Mr. Kimbo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yan ay binayad ng tao. Gusto ko malaman kung saan napunta talaga yan. Kung umabot sa Department sa Bureau of Treasury, nag-i-house tayo sa pera, hindi natin alam kung saan napupunta yan. We have to clean up our system. I'll tell you, masaktan man kayo, pasensya na lang kayo. Napaka-unpopular ng LTO dahil sa mga nangyari yan. Galit lahat ang driver. At kayo, Mr. Lutilla, you're a lawyer, shame on you. Ikaw, Vera Cruz, shame on you. You were able to get away with this. And I don't give a damn if you give me a memorandum of order, talo kayo sa parada. I don't play poker para sinasabi, sa parada pa lang o sa blackjack, talo na kagad. So thank you all very much. This hearing is hereby suspended until March 18 at 1 o'clock. Thank you all very much for your kindness. Pasensya na kayo if my passion sometimes exceeds my desire, but that's the way I am. That's the way my parents and God created me. Maraming salamat sa inyo. God bless you all.